Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 17 of Forget Your Warranty, the review series for the aftermarket tuner cars of Gran Turismo 6 in particular, though hopefully we will get more cars like this in future Gran Turismo games. And this particular vehicle has been on Gran Turismo for a little bit longer. I believe, if I remember correctly, it debuted on Gran Turismo 4. And this was a vehicle which immediately caught my eye. I love vehicles which have crazy visuals. It's probably due to the nostalgia of one of the earliest memories I have of racing games, which is of Need for Speed Underground, which many people of a similar age to me will probably have similar memories of as well. And this car, visually at least, is very reminiscent of that. It has a very Need for Speed-esque appearance with the multiple colours, the decals, the wide arch body kit, the colossal rear wing, huge muffler tip on the exhaust, etc. It's just got that kind of look to it. But instead of purely being a visual thing, which is what it is on Need for Speed, this car serves a purpose, and every component on it serves that purpose, because of course the Amuse Carbon R, based on the R34 Skyline, is a time attack car. And a very good one. This is a vehicle which is, I would say, very underestimated and underused on GT6. I'm not sure if it had more use from you guys or players in general on GT4 or GT5, but it's a vehicle which I think puts many people off due to a couple of things about it not really panning out in the way that you'd expect it to. For a start, there's the power. This is a powerful car. It's powered by, as you'd assume from a Skyline, a 2.6 litre turbocharged engine. It puts out 737 horsepower when tuned. Now that's a lot of power, especially for an aftermarket tuner car. That is one of the more powerful cars of this series, but that's nowhere near the power of the normal Skylines, and I think that probably disappointed people when they first bought the car. Now, as far as torque, it also puts out far less than that which you would typically expect from a Skyline, 494 foot-pounds of torque. And so, for the price of 250 grand, you would probably expect more from this car. It certainly looks like it would have a lot more power than that. Visually, it's a very extreme-looking Skyline-based vehicle, and I think that's probably what made many people not use it that much. Because on Gran Turismo 4, it was good, but not great. And that tends to bleed over through to the next game. So if you didn't use it on GT4, chances are you probably won't use it on GT5, and so on. And that's a shame. But it's also kind of not, because it means that those of us who do take a chance on cars that are different can potentially find something that's a bit of a hidden gem. And I personally believe that this car is such a vehicle. Now, there are some notable differences between this and a normal R34. For instance, this is a rear-wheel drive car, not all-wheel drive as the Skyline is known for. And although that does change the handling characteristics and of course make it slower off the line, it does mean a reduction of weight. This car weighs a good 100 kilos less than a fully tuned premium Nissan Skyline. That's pretty decent. 100 kilos is not to be trifled with. That's a decent amount of weight to get rid of from a car like this. The Skyline is naturally a reasonably heavy car due to the amount of tech put into it, so to reduce it by another 100 kilograms could potentially make a pretty good difference. It weighs 1123 kilos thanks to the copious use of carbon fibre, as is indicated of course by the car's name. The horsepower per tonne is pretty good, supercar territory in fact, 656, and the PP, well actually the PP is not as high as you might assume, and that's a good thing, because this car only sits at 576 PP, and this is easily a vehicle that you would assume, justifiably so, would be over 600 PP. So why is it so low? Well, some vehicles on Gran Turismo do have inexplicably lower PP levels, and they tend to be the cars that are known for being OP. The weird thing is, that hasn't happened to this car. People don't view it as being OP, and most people don't even use it that much, if at all. So what's the deal? Well, the power is less, as we already said, and so is the top speed. In fact, the top speed on this car is nowhere near a Nissan version of the Skyline with the upgrades that you can do to that car. So, is it useful, or is it more of a gimmick? I would say it's useful, because this is, at the end of the day, purely designed to be a track car. It's not a drag car, it's not a drift car, it's not a top speed racer. It's a track car. That's it. That is all it's designed for, that is its only purpose. So anything else is just a bonus, it's not essential. Now, around the track, this car doesn't disappoint. The handling is very good when you tune it correctly, and the fact that it's not all-wheel drive actually helps it sometimes. Not only through the obvious lack of weight, but also because it loosens up the front end. The Skyline can sometimes have a tendency to be heavy because of the power going to the front wheels. That simply doesn't happen to this car. It handles much more like a traditional rear-wheel drive GT car, and that can potentially be useful on tracks especially which are tighter and twistier. Now, for straight-line performance, this doesn't beat very much. There are plenty of other tuner cars as well as normal cars that can be tuned to absolutely annihilate this car in a straight line. So if you're looking purely for a speed machine, don't bother, especially for 250 grand. But if you're a fan of Skylines, or if you're a fan of tuner cars, or just vehicles that are a bit different, then it's worth a shot. If you're a Skyline fan, then I think you'll find the differences that this car has refreshing. The fact that it is not all-wheel drive is intriguing. The handling is very good, I would say better than the normal Skylines, and although it doesn't have the shock and awe performance of a normal Skyline, it has, surprisingly, based on the way it looks, kind of an understated professionalism to the way it drives. It doesn't make a big fuss, it's not overtly loud, even though visually it is very loud. It just gets on with it, it does the job, and it's a lot faster than it feels. This car can compete very well at the 575 pp level with hardly any down tuning at all. So if you enjoy pp specific racing, you may want to give this car a try. But that's it overall for this particular pick. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.